It began like any other Sunday. I was out for my usual jog, running along the edge of the woods near our neighborhood. The air was fresh, the scenery peaceful. That's when I heard faint whimpering. Curious and concerned, I followed the sound and found a yellow Labrador resting beneath a tree. I crouched to pet him, and he gently leaned into my hand, his tail wagging furiously. He looked relieved, but also thin and filthy, clearly neglected. I wondered if he had been abandoned or simply lost. After waiting a while to see if someone would come looking for him, I decided to bring him home. I gave him a bath and fed him some leftover chicken, which he devoured like he hadn't eaten in days. The next morning, I posted flyers around the neighborhood in case someone was missing him. My own dog, Max, had passed away the year before, and I knew how heartbreaking it was to lose a pet. In the meantime, I started calling the new dog Dennis. Dennis and I settled into a routine quickly. We'd walk every morning and evening. Our morning walks took us past the same stretch of woods where I first found him, while the evenings had us exploring different paths further out. He was a joy, calm, obedient, never pulled on the leash, and always listened, except when we neared one particular house. The place sat a little apart from the others, and every time we got close, Dennis would start to tremble and whine. At first, I thought he wanted to go in, but as we approached, I realized he was terrified. His body froze, and his eyes stayed locked on the house like someone watching a horror unfold in slow motion. This happened multiple times, so I eventually began steering us along a different route. Weeks turned into months, and no one responded to the missing dog flyers. It became clear no one was coming for Dennis. By then, I was completely attached. I couldn't imagine life without him. He'd wake me up every morning with excited kisses and greet me every evening like I was the best part of his day. I decided to officially make him part of the family. One particularly chaotic evening, I had a long list of errands to run. Wanting to give Dennis his walk early, I took him along. I didn't think twice about passing by that house again. But Dennis remembered. As soon as we neared it, he stopped cold, eyes wide with dread. He wouldn't budge. I offered bribes, tried coaxing him with treats, but nothing worked. This time, he seemed even more disturbed than usual. Then, out of nowhere, Dennis bolted, yanking the leash from my hand and sprinting toward the house. "Dennis! No! Come back!" I shouted, chasing after him. He didn't listen. Whatever fear had held him back before was now overridden by something stronger. He darted into the backyard and began furiously digging at the ground. I'd never seen him act this way. He had never dug in our yard, never in the woods, nothing like this. I tried to stop him, but he was relentless, digging as if he was being pulled by something unseen. Then I saw it, a shred of fabric emerging from the dirt. As Dennis dug deeper, the cloth revealed itself to be the sleeve of a shirt. Then came a human hand. Someone was buried there. Without hesitation, I scooped Dennis up and ran straight to the nearest police station. I told them everything. They uncovered the body. It belonged to a man in his early 30s who, according to the coroner, had died about 5 months earlier, the same amount of time Dennis had been with me. The man had suffered blunt force trauma to the back of the head. That house had been a rental, and he had lived there with a woman and their dog, Dennis. Neighbors knew them as Jake and Lauren, but police discovered those names were fake. Everything they had told people was a lie. The house inside was untouched, nothing stolen. The woman, Lauren, vanished without a trace and remains the prime suspect. Authorities still don't know if she committed the murder or became a victim herself. No one has ever confirmed their real identities. Jake was buried without a name. Strangely, even after his death, someone continued paying the rent, in cash, likely to avoid suspicion. There may be more the police haven't shared publicly. I still wonder who Jake really was. Maybe he had secrets, but Dennis cared enough to face his fear and uncover his body. That tells me Jake must have been a good man, at least to his dog. And yet, the most bizarre part happened later. One morning, while I was making breakfast, Dennis was playing in the front yard. I glanced out the window and saw him wagging his tail excitedly at someone near the fence, obscured by the shrubs. I went outside to check. Dennis trotted over to me. That's when I noticed something strange. The collar I'd put on him was on the ground, and he was wearing a different one. I rushed out to the street, hoping to catch whoever had been there, but no one was around. Dennis let out a soft bark, as if to tell me not to worry. I brought him inside and inspected the new collar. It had a tag. One side read Dennis, and the other listed an address, the same house where I first found him. He looked up at me with calm, gentle eyes, as if to say everything was okay. Dennis and I are still together. He's brought so much light into my life, and I truly believe he's the best dog that ever lived. And yes, I kept calling him Dennis. Something tells me that's exactly what his old owner would have wanted.